Agrotourism is an emerging new field, one that's expected to generate plenty of revenue in the coming years. By 2027, the market for the industry is expected to be worth $117 billion. For some of you, it may be your first time hearing the term, which is totally understandable. In today's video, we'll be talking about how states and policymakers are cultivating the connection between farming and tourism. Firstly, what is agrotourism? Agrotourism is a rising field, gaining popularity by the day. It's a form of commercial enterprise that connects agricultural production with tourism to bring more visitors to the farm and hence generate money. Not only does it offer a way to boost revenue, but it also provides a potential solution to current agriculture problems. It's easy to see the charm with agrotourism since it provides a unique opportunity to combine aspects of both agriculture and tourism. Exploring the avenue could essentially provide people with new jobs and increase the local tax access of communities. For the people visiting the farms, it's an educational opportunity. Other than that, it's a great way to preserve agricultural lands that otherwise may go neglected. It also allows the state to develop business enterprises. Here are a few examples. Farmers in the United States and other parts of the world are joining in on agrotourism. Whether they are small operations or year-round consumer services, farmers are joining in one way or another. Common examples of agrotourism include pumpkin picking patches, corn mazes, U-pick operations, and hay rides. You could also try out dude ranches, demonstration days, agricultural museums, and living history farms. Those who like their alcohol could go for wine tasting and visit wineries. All in all, there are plenty of ways farmers can open their doors to the public and lots of ways for people to experience rural life. So, how long has agrotourism been in practice? Even though agrotourism has picked up pace recently, it's been around longer than that. Dude ranches in the States date back to the 1880s. These were established to give city dwellers a chance to experience the Wild West. It included herding cattle, riding horses, and even helping out with the farm chores. Other than the States, Israel has been practicing the kibbutz culture of collective farming and allowing visitors to stay and work since the early 20th century. In Italy, agrotourism picked up pace after the Second World War. The extra income allowed farmers to preserve their lands and save historic buildings from collapsing. In fact, agrotourism has been regulated by state laws in Italy since 1985, and back in 2013, the country started using a sector trademark, Agriturismo Italia, along with the new classification of farms. And what are the challenges? Although agrotourism seems quite promising, it's not without its issues. It comes with its fair share of legal issues. Liability is a serious concern for farmers and ranchers. It's quite understandable why that is. Any farmer who opens his or her land to the public is directly responsible if someone suffers an injury on their property. The duty of care would fall on the owner. Of course, that courtesy does not extend to trespassers. Other than that, some states have passed agrotourism statutes that can create an affirmative defense to lawsuits by possibly injured visitors. So, if anyone wants to avoid a lawsuit, they need to read the statute carefully. Then, there's issues with animal welfare. Animals kept only for agricultural purposes are exempt from regulation under the Animal Welfare Act. The act is only applicable to animals who are exhibited. That would include roadside zoos, petting zoos, and educational displays. So any farmers planning to use the on-farm animals to add to the appeal need to be aware of the act to avoid any problems later. So what countries are making use of agrotourism? Despite the challenges, many countries have been dabbling in the industry for a long time now. The United States has got its own efforts underway. These include the UC Small Farm Center developing a California agrotourism database. The database in question has been built with the intention of providing potential entrepreneurs and visitors with information about existing agrotourism locations in the state. The LaMotta Ranch in Hebbronville, Texas, remains to be a leading example of successful agrotourism since the 1890s. Their primary business is purebred and commercial cattle herds. Agrotourism has already been a major part in the agriculture sector in Northwest England, as per an article in the journal Tourism Planning and Development back in 2011. Same goes for India. For a country that gets 26% of its GDP from agriculture, agrotourism is a gold mine. Indian states Kerala and Maharashtra are already taking the forefront on the developing sector. The government of Kerala deserves special appreciation for the green farm that it has launched, tasked with promoting agritourism in the region. All in all, most countries seem to be in a race to make the most of the industry's unlocked potential. So, how much potential are we talking? There are a lot of opportunities that remain to be explored in the field, and as people continue to do so, the industry is going to grow. The market is expected to be worth $117 billion by 2027. That's definitely a big number. It's been predicted by none other than Fortune Business Insights in their recently published report, Agritourism Market Size, Share, and Industry Analysis by Type and Regional Forecast 2020 to 2027. According to the aforementioned reports, the market size was $69.24 billion back in 2019. The pandemic may have taken a beating out of almost everything, but with lockdown restrictions easing up, businesses are back on track. So we can certainly hope to see more from farmers and tourist agencies in the future. Now, time for some other related news. First up, agritourism in Tasmania. Tasmania. Tasmania's agritourism sector is doing pretty well. According to reports, 744,200 tourists had visited the island of Australia, which we'd say is a vast improvement from the previous year when the island only saw 327,600 visitors. Not only are the visitation numbers looking good, but so is the data concerning the length of the stay and daily spending by the visitors. Owing to these activities, the sector is seeing $2.19 billion in direct visitor spending. 205,000 visitors of these people visited a local food producer, while 202,000 visited a winery. A major part of the visitors visited a heritage site. With these numbers, Tasmania's agriculture sector has exceeded $2.15 billion in food production. They're going for $10 billion by 2050. While the island's success is shocking, for a few, it's hardly a surprise, since Tasmania has always been known as a powerhouse of agritourism. And now, Scottish agritourism, under leadership of 7 new destination leaders. Farm tourism in Scotland is entering a new era after having appointed 7 destination leaders around the country. The new leaders were chosen from members of the sector body, Scottish Agritourism, and are now gearing up to take hold of their 2-year voluntary regional roles to provide on-ground support for the industry. They're replacing a set of leaders who had been working for 2 years before them. Joining the newly appointed leaders will be the 8 current destination leaders. These 8 people will continue to serve for the next 12 months. The newly appointed leaders will be working with other agencies to identify opportunities for growth in the area, with their main focus on promoting the Go Rural consumer campaign in the area. The new lineup was welcomed at Old Lecky Farm near Stirling by the Scottish Agritourism Board. Sector lead Carolyn Miller took the opportunity to thank outgoing members and welcome the newbies. She also recognized the various milestones achieved by the previous body, including being recognized as a key tourism sector and establishing a sector body. Hopefully, they'll be able to achieve more in the coming years. Next up, agritourism breathes new life into Frankenmuth Farm. Frankenmuth used to be known for family-style chicken dinners and crowded festivals. Now, you can add a women-led agritourism business to that list as well. Overseeing Grandpa's tiny heritage farm is Wendy Winkle, who 5 years ago had no experience with farming, but now spends her day managing everything on this 60-acre farm. The farm, founded back in 1938, is located at 7775 Weiss Street between Bronner's Christmas Wonderland and the town's Willkomen Archway spanning M83. It gets its name from the late William Tiny Zender, who co-founded the iconic Bavarian Inn restaurant with his wife. Winkle took over the business back in 2017 and was the first to open it up to the public. What's more, she's launched 2 festivals on the farm, a Christmas event in the winter and a sunflower festival in the summer. These festivals bring in about 20,000 visitors each year, which definitely means business for the locals. The farm pony named Pony also brings in a crowd. Joining Pony are fainting goats, sheep, and 2 reindeer. The 2 reindeer alone bring in half of the income of the farm, since there are only about 165 of these in Michigan. Winkle organizes reindeer farm weekend events in November and December, both of which sell out as they bring in 10,000 visitors every year. Other than that, Winkle also brings in school field trips out on the farm, so we'd say business is booming. Well, that's a wrap for this video. Alright, what do you think of agritourism as an industry? Do you think states will be able to explore the sector's full potential? Let us know in the comments section below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Bye now!